Hey guys, Zoya here from the Starcraftsquad, bringing you the newly refined user submission replays. I'll talk more about how to submit to this series at the end of the video. So we're just going to dive right into this. Spawning in the bottom right as the blue Protoss is Inferno. He is our user submitter. He is the guy who I will be watching exclusively and trying to tell him and tell you guys what Inferno is doing wrong, what he can change to improve. His opponent in the top left is the Red Terran, Aurora. Now, we're going to swap our vision to Inferno's. We're not going to watch the player cam. We're just going to watch what he sees. We're going to be doing what he does. We're going to just be seeing everything that's going through Inferno's mind and making sure he's not screwing it up royally. So, 9 pylon going down. Standard, that's good, that's good. He still hasn't used any Chrono Boost, that's good. He's not doing anything silly yet. I'm going to go ×2 for now. There's really not much we can watch here at the beginning of the replay. I'm going to be doing this with all user submission replay. So he is Chrono Boosting as soon as that pylon's down. Looks like we'll be seeing a 12 or 13 gate from him. Pretty good, pretty good. He is against a Terran player. I wish I could turn off what we're seeing being built by the Terran player up here, but I guess that's fine. Now we are scouting after our gateway. That's good. He's getting a little bit late on that gas, in my opinion. Should have been gotten a little bit quicker. I prefer my gas on 14. He got it on 15, either as part of his build or he just forgot for a couple seconds. So make sure you always get that gas early. We do see that our opponent is scouting. He tries to harass here, that SCV, but now here's the first problem I see. He's wanted to harass the SCV here. Now, all he did was he A-clicked over here, probably someplace, and the probe started to attack the supply depot. Now, what he could have done differently was if he would have targeted, like, just shift right-click the SCV. When you shift right-click any SCV that's building a building with either any type of unit, even when it changes to a different spot, your probe will still follow it to attack it. It won't just, like, attack something else. So make sure you do the shift right-click thing. And another thing he did wrong, he got himself walled off. So now he has no idea what's going on in this base. Scouting your information comes way quicker, or should be, is way more important than harassing an SCV building a barracks. We don't know if he has any gas yet. We don't know if he's got second racks being built. We don't know what could be possibly going on over here. We have no clue what's going on now, and because we didn't scout that, we are behind. So now we're back to playing. Sitting here harassing a depot when this SCV could have been being attacked right now. And you saw how that long that one was sitting there. We could have killed that SCV possibly. Probe going back in the base here. We have Cybercore on the way. Only mining out of 1 gas right now. We still don't know what kind of build Inferno's going yet. We just have the Cybercore finishing right now. Still only 1 gas. Warp Gate being researched. Stalker being researched. Instantly Chrono Boosting both. Income tab, guys. We're at 21. Doing pretty good so far. Controlling the Zelnaga tower. That's okay, I guess. I would like to... I don't know if it's really necessary to control the Zelnaga tower with that probe when we have the Stalker coming out pretty quickly. And we're expanding, so we're getting a 1-gate expand. I'd like to see more Stalkers being produced. You never know what kind of all-in could be hitting you. So we do see 5 Marines here, and we took a lot of... We lost that Stalker, so now we're going to go down to slower speed. We don't really need to be watching at a faster speed now that stuff's going on. That Stalker should not have been lost. And that's a huge mistake. Losing your first Stalker, guys, oh yeah, it's 1 Stalker. This early in the game is huge. Now you've lost your scout. Now you've lost your defense. Right now, we have... Look, this SCV could have been killed by that Stalker. And now he's getting a full scout. He scouts the robo. He scouts the expansion. He sees we're still only on 1 gas. He scouts the second gate. All of that could have been stopped if this Stalker that died over here was kept alive. The second Stalker is out, ready to play. We are killing this SCV finally, but it has seen all it's needed to see. It sees 3 gates. Warp gates finished, guys. How come this isn't a gateway yet? You guys need to immediately be making your warp gates into gateways. No need to have this probe here. You should bring them back. Expansion's finished. Got probes transferring. Just now getting that second gas. That's really late for that second gas. Should have had it a little bit quicker. Warp gate's finally being warped in now, guys. It's just now being warped in as these 2 gateways finish. Observers on the field. I'd like to see a couple of mortals being built now because you don't know what could be hitting you at this moment. I want to bring this probe back. I want to put a Stalker there instead. You don't need that there. Keybinds right now. We have 1 gateway keybound. I know you can press W to select all your warp gates. I still like having them keybound just so you can keep them organized and stuff. Robo is not keybound, guys. It's really useful. He's getting a second observer here. I don't really know if that's necessary, because we don't even know he's going cloaked banshees at the moment. So we don't really need that second observer. I would like to see a couple morals being produced here. So what do we scout? Okay, we're scouting right now. Now what do we do with this information? Now right now we are going to be paying attention to what Inferno is doing. We're watching the production tab. We're going to be seeing what he's doing as he's scouting. Income tab, guys, 37 to 29. We're doing really great on the harvester count. We're destroying our opponent. So right now we have Marines, Marauders. Let's see what he's building. We're still building probes. We're keeping ourselves ahead of supply block. Now, scouting with this observer. Scouting with the observer. We see the tech lab. We see a second. We see 3, 4, 5. 5 barracks. Immediately throws down that robotics bay. Perfect decision here. Throwing down extra gateways. Now, looks like we're getting prepared for this bio ball. Okay, we're not wanting to go Templar. We're not going Twilight Council tech. I mean, we already have the Robo Bay for the Scout. It'd be silly to throw down that Twilight Council now and try and get charge lots in High Templar. Good choice there, throwing down the Robotics Bay. Throwing down more cannons. We've got the third, or more gateways. We're getting a Warp Prism. That's an interesting choice here. Curious as to why he's doing this. Charge or Zealot drops are pretty good, but it's really better with charge. But it's still a good decision. I like this choice. He's getting the Warp Prism. I mean, he's not built. He doesn't need to build anything else right now. His Robo Bay just finished, so he could be building a Colossus right now. But that Warp Prism is a good choice. He had downtime. He's got this observer right outside the base, so he's able to see when his opponent moves out. So now we don't really need this probe out here. This probe could be mining, guys. And no, it's one probe, but yeah, that's one probe you could have mining. Now we do have. Let's count how many probes here. So we're not fully saturated here. Not fully saturated here. So the probe counts move, and we just saw he's moving out across the map. We see he's moving out across the map. Need to get ready. We don't have much of a force for this. Means we haven't been warping in, guys. First Colossus is on the way. We're not getting extended thermal lance, not getting any upgrades. What have we been doing if this is our only army? This is what this guy has. We're going to lose right now. What have we been doing with our warp-ins? We have not been warping in continuously. We need to make sure we're doing that. Let's look at our Chrono Boost right now. We're not building probes right now. We've cut probe production. We shouldn't be doing that. Constant probe production. We should be getting our 4th gas right now because we are building Colossus. We need to be Chrono Boosting these Colossus, guys. You see the threat of this force. So actually it looks like this guy went back home. Warp Prism is en route. So we're actually pretty safe right now. But if a push would have arrived, we would have been in some serious trouble. And right now we're supply blocked actually. Just now starting Thermal Lance. Still haven't started any Forge upgrades. Or we just Chrono Boosted a robotics facility that's not building anything, so you're supply blocked. So that was a waste of a Chrono Boost. I would like to see a little bit more active scouting with this Observer, Inferno. Because right now you're missing a starport being built, reactor being built, so you're seeing that he's getting ready for Colossus, so this would be perfect time for Twilight Council. You filled on the Twilight Council just now, but that was a blind Twilight Council. You might not be doing it for High Templar, which you're going to need because he's starting to counter your Colossus. Now you're pumping out more Colossus, you are supply blocked for a really long time. You had a food lead, you had a harvester lead, but now you've evened it up because of these silly mistakes. You should have taken a third by right now. You're sitting on 700 minerals for such a long time, you could have expanded. Don't see a Nexus going down anywhere, which I would have loved to see. So right now we're not expanding still. We're getting that +1 armor finally. But there's a lot of downtime we've wasted. So Colossus are on the field now. We have 2. Would like to see a 3rd. And we're pushing across the map. I disagree with this movement completely. This guy's got a pretty scary force. You haven't scouted what's in here for a while, so you don't know what else he has. He could have Ghosts. He could have Vikings. This isn't a scary force, guys. We don't have charge. We barely have any upgrades. We only have 2 Colossus. This is gonna crush us. Why are we engaging this? And you run right past them. You would have stemmed. You could have caught those Colossus out of position. No force fields being used right now, so he's getting an entire concave on you. You're trying to micro your Colossus, and you're doing an okay job with it, but you could be doing so much better. And you're using your Warp Prism as a proxy pylon. Yeah, that's good because you didn't have a proxy pylon, but you should have a proxy pylon, and right now would be the perfect time to be warping in Zealots right here. Now, somehow, you did hold off that push. You had decent Colossus micro, but you could have been doing so much more damage. You did not need to push there. You really didn't have much of a force here. You're currently not building Colossus. Because you got this 4th gas so late, and you're still on 2 bases, you're really gas-starved. You're sitting on so many minerals. So right now, this Warp Prism doesn't need to be here. You're being flanked right now. You still don't have charge. You should not have been harassing with the small force, guys. Terran small forces versus Protoss small forces. Terran small forces always going to win. So So you're engaging this right now for no reason. You just warped in another round of units that need to be warped in. You need a proxy pylon someplace. Your observers are both over here. They're not scouting what's going on in the base. You have no clue. Let's pause the game real quick. Let's go to everyone vision. Armory, double engineering bay. That means we need to start working on our upgrades really quickly. If the Terran opponent gets, or see, look, he's already got +1/+1. Right now he's getting +2 weapons. What do we have? We have +1 armor. So this guy's way ahead of you, and he's obviously preparing himself to get more ahead. He's got the armor, he's got the double engineering base. He's focusing on upgrades right now. We have 1 starport producing units right now. We have a second one on the way. We could be scouting this. Do you see any turrets throughout this base? No. That means he's probably not going to stop any form of attack you're doing. So right now we're about to lose this warp prism because these Vikings are going to come down and kill it. These warp prism guys are not proxy pylons. Do not ever use a warp prism as a proxy pylon. Warp prisms are for harassment. You pick up 4 zealots, you spawn 4 zealots, you put them inside, you drop them right here, you go into the main, you warp in 4 up here, or you just warp in 4 right here. During that engagement, where he had the Colossus, he barely held, lost all his Colossus, but still had a couple Stalkers and Zealots. Think if he would have had a proxy pylon right here warping in, and he would have warped in just 4 Zealots right here. The guy had nothing to defend with. You just killed his entire army. He had a couple Marauders here, but you would have killed a lot of SCVs. So even though that push you did was not a well-timed push. I mean, you didn't have charge, you had no upgrades, you only had 2 Colossus. That was a poor push. But even with that poor push, you could have done some serious damage to the guy. And right now you're behind. You're still sitting on 1,000 minerals with no Nexus. You need to be expanding at this point. So we're going back into the game. Right now you're crying about how Terran units are pretty good. But right now, I've seen several things that you could have done way differently here that could have easily won you the game. Your timings are off, your unit composition is off, your upgrades are off. Look, see, even Aurora's pointing it out. Right now, he's almost 2-2. You're still on 1-0. You're starting 2-0 armor. You haven't been completely producing Colossus. You're just now starting to build more. You're sitting on so much minerals and gas. You haven't taken a 3rd yet. You're still on 2 bases. He's taking his 3rd. Could probably take a 4th right now because he's such a commanding lead. This is all you have. Charge is finally finished, but right now you have, what, 1 Colossus, a bunch of Zealots? You're not getting High Templar yet. High Templar would crush this army. The best way to play Protoss, guys, is to be very flexible with your units. You have Colossus, and you have High Templar. Unit 6, we have a stem coming up here. We have 1 High Templar, or we have 1 Colossus here, not doing much damage. He's not even really kiting your Zealots right now. He's kind of running through them, and he just kind of crushes you right here. You're left with nothing. You're still on 2 bases. This is all you have over here. You're still trying to produce Colossus. You're really not doing all that you can. Your multitasking here is pretty poor. So it looks like you're in a pretty scary position right now. This guy is definitely overstimming here, so you can hold this off if with a round of Zealot warpings. But right now, I mean, the food count says a lot. 140 to 96. Income tab, 67 to 59. So you had a commanding lead at the start. You were ahead on Harvesters. You had just lost 1 Stalker. You could have been 4 bases at this point. Right now you're sitting on 2,000 minerals, 600 gas. When you're sitting on 2,000 minerals, guys, and you're on 2 bases, that's 2 Nexuses you can build and 3 more gateways. You could even build another forge and start pumping out more units. Why did you get this Twilight Council if you're not really utilizing it? I mean, you're getting +2 armor, but that's it. You have this Colossus sitting in your main that could be helping hold off this force. This 1 Colossus, guys, look how low these units were. If this Colossus was attacking with this group of units, all of these would have been pretty much dead easily, and you would have had a lot more left over. You have this Warp Prism sitting in this main. Warp Prisms are not proxy pylons. Remember, you don't need to use them as proxy pylons. Proxy pylons are proxy pylons. Nothing else should be. You cannot substitute a Warp Prism for a proxy pylon. Warp Prisms should be for harassment, High Templar drops, Dark Templar drops, Zealot drops. You do not get the Warp Prism to substitute for a proxy pylon. Guess how much a proxy pylon costs, guys? 100 minerals. Warp Prisms cost 200 minerals. They're not proxy pylons. Don't use them as proxy pylons. This sitting in your base is accomplishing nothing. You should be dropping with it. So back to the gameplay. You might barely be able to hold off this next push, but here comes another reinforcing push. And he's on 3 bases. You're still on 2 bases. You should have been up a base on him right now, not down a base. You're sending out these random charge lots. You shouldn't be attacking into him right now when you know reinforcements are probably on the way. You should be trying to build up a defense. If he's not attacking you right now, that's good. Don't go try and kill him. You're at 84 supply right now. You're doing terribly. Look at your mineral count right now. 1,500 minerals, 300 gas. So you could be putting down 4 more gateways and warping in a whole bunch more zealots You don't need Stalkers right now. You shouldn't be warping in charge Zealots or Stalkers right now. You should be warping in pure Charge Lot because he doesn't have Hellions, he doesn't have Tanks, he doesn't have Ghosts. And then just making a bunch of Colossus, a bunch of High Templar. You don't really need that many Stalkers. Charge Lot combos are sick. And then you got 3 more command centers. You do a GG ... like you think you deserve the win, that this was in balance, but really you played poorly here. There were so many things, and I know I'm being harsh right now, but it really just upsets me when people, yeah, Terran units are pretty good. They are pretty good, but against a good Protoss, they're pretty balanced. And right now you didn't really play that well. You're getting frustrated and you're blaming it on Terran whenever there were so many things you could do. Look at how many minerals he's sitting on right now, 25. He is spending his minerals. He is expanding all over the place. He's building more production facilities. He's getting upgrades. He's at 2-2 right now. He's playing really well right now. You're on 2 bases, 2,200 minerals, 500 gas. You have +2 armor. There's so much more you could have been doing here. You'd only have 1 tech tree that's full, or that's completed. You could have had High Templar right now. You could have had Dark Templar by now. Could have had Archons. The best way to play Protoss, guys, is, like I said, to be flexible. You're kind of all over the place. You don't have 6 Colossus because he's just going to go mass Vikings and crush you. You have 4 Colossus and like 6 High Templar, or like 4 High Templar and like 3 Archons. That way he has to get a huge mix of Vikings and Ghost. He has to be just as flexible as you. And I'm telling you, as a Terran player, if you're not continuously scouting, let's look at what he sees in your base. The last time he scanned, okay, so he has seen pretty much, he hasn't seen the robo base, so he hasn't been scanning constantly. He has been kind of scanning, but he hasn't been scouting fully. He hasn't been dropping you, so you haven't even been harassed really, and you can't beat a Protoss player without harassing. So if you would have been harassing him, he hasn't been scouting you, you could have gotten High Templar. If you sneak High Templar and Archons on a Terran who does not have Ghost, who's not ready for it, who only thinks you're going Colossus, you automatically win the game. It is the biggest, it's the hardest thing to deal with. So try being more flexible here. Spend your minerals. Don't sit on 2 bases for this long. Look at this guy. He's already on 3. He was on 3 bases for a lot longer than, he was on 3 bases for a long time while you were still on 2 bases. Now he's expanding across the map. You have so many minerals banked. Throw down more gateways. Charge Lot, Archon, High Templar, Colossus is a scary death wall versus Terran. I know that sounds like it's hard to get, but you had already had the Colossus and the Zealots from the get-go. You've had, from halfway through the game, you had Charge. You could have had so much more. Don't use Warp Prisms as proxy pylons, guys. They are for harassment. They are not proxy pylons. You were warping in here. You could have been warping in from over here instead, and then dropping some Zealots here and doing a lot of damage. You know how hard it is to deal with a push where you have to micro against Colossus, Zealots, and Stalkers, while you have 4 Zealots in your main just killing your SCVs? It is a difficult thing to deal with. So try all these things. I know I'm pretty harsh when I do these user submission videos, but it's the best way for you to learn. So thank you for submitting Inferno. If you guys are interested in doing user submission replays with me, you may submit your replays to starcraftsquad@gmail.com. When you submit the replay, make sure you attach the replay to the email first, because so many people send in replay or send me these like whole write-ups about it without attaching replay. So make sure you attach the replay physically. Make sure in the email you talk about what goes on in the map, what you're looking to improve on, what you think could be helpful, and to also tell me who you are. So many people submit these replays without telling me who they are. I'm just kind of like, well, can't really tell you how to improve. I don't know which one you are. And then also tell me what your league you're in. So thank you for watching, thank you for submitting Inferno, and make sure you guys subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/StarcraftsQuad, and I'll see you guys in the next video.